Hey guys, this is Tobias. We are at the desk with a behind the scenes look at my writing process. I'm really excited. I'm putting out a new ebook. The ebook's called 5 Emotions That Will Change Your Life. That's the finished product over there. I wanted to show you guys my editing process and some of the phases that I do while writing. Maybe some of you guys are writers yourself or participating in the creative process. Everybody has a different way to do it, but for me, this is kind of what it looks like. So, for this particular project, when I got started, I started with an idea that I was working on for an e-course, and then it kind of transformed into this, and I made an ebook out of it because I had a basic outline for the different emotions. And what I found is that there's, in here we could see that there's the top 10, pleasant and unpleasant emotions. Now I kind of shifted them over once I did like the writing process, the positive feelings and the negative feelings. And this is just a general look of those 10 different feelings on each side. A lot of them have changed. And then eventually what I found is that there's transcendent emotions. There's emotions that are beyond anything that is imbalanced or dualistic. And love and gratitude is what I really started with. So I had started with this where, I wrote the top 10 pleasant ones and the top 10 negative ones. And as I went through that process, and probably before that, I would go through my journal and just, capturing like big ideas that were happening. Let's see here. Here's just a little look of when I started looking at the 5 transcendent emotions, or the 5 emotions that were really, beyond anything that was imbalanced. So I found that there was love, gratitude, inspiration. I kind of connected these ideas eventually because I didn't want enthusiasm to be its own. So I connected those. I found that joy was a huge one, and then peace. And then some of the other stuff that I would journal is, I would mind map. I'd have an idea, then I'd create, subcategories. Yeah, eventually I'll probably do a little video on how to journal because I love journaling. But this is just a basic look of some of the ideas that I captured while creating this. And then while I went through that, obviously I sat down to the computer every day and, participated in my sacred writing process that I love so much. If you want to create anything, you got to sit down and do it daily. Sometimes the creative genius would come through me, and other days it doesn't. But once I spent a lot of time with that, eventually I came up with pretty much the final product. And then once you get here, it's the red pen edit. So this is the introduction. These are the top 10 negative and positive emotions that I went through. This was me going through like every single one of them. And then these are the top 5 emotions that will change your life. That's a basic look at that and some of the notes that I made. Once I got to this section, it was really exciting, and I'm super pumped to share this with you guys. But I have a section on each one of these emotions that I think is really going to be helpful. And when I'm doing this, I'm really asking some big questions. I'm looking for, does it flow? Does it sound right to me? Is it really adding value to the reader? Am I, staying on point with, what I really want to accomplish? Eventually, over here, what I found is that I wrote this whole section about emotional baggage and healing. And this whole section is not even in the ebook at all. So, and I really, really loved it, but I'm going to save this for another piece. But this brings me to the idea of what Stephen King talks about when he talks about that eventually, you can't have everything in the ebook or in your writing, whether it's blogs or books or whatever you're doing. So eventually you have to do something called murdering your darlings. Sometimes you fall in love with something, but you just can't have it in there. So that's what I found with this whole section here. So that's a lot of what the editing process looks like for me. You know, you could tell how much time I spend going through this. And once I go through all those, I make all the edits, and then I put everything into the format where we have the actual ebook. And like I said, I'm pumped about sharing this with you guys. It's going to be coming out in about a week, and you guys can check it out then. I will be probably doing more videos on this. Like I said, I'd like to do some videos on journaling and some other stuff, but this is a brief look at some of the things that I do for writing and what kind of goes through my mind, and what is really necessary for taking each steps. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me, and check out the ebook soon, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye-bye.